Of course, we are a team. We are a very good team, and the municipality of Lidköping, I think. So we're real hard to do this, make a sustainable society. So, but let's take it from the beginning. I'm an environmental strategist. I don't know if you have met one before, but we look like this, all of us. Almost every municipality in Sweden have a strategist, and has had so for some years. It started in the 90s, I think, in most municipalities with Agenda 21, you know, UN document, and it began, and then it's going on for year after year. And it's a very exciting work, I can promise you. So I work for the municipal executive board. So what we would like to do, what we are trying really hard to do, is to build this sustainable society. And we are talking about 3 dimensions. We're talking about the social dimension, that people should be healthy, they should be lucky, they should have a good life and feel secure and so on. Just a good life for everyone, that's the vision. And economy, we should look at the economy in a long term. We haven't done that longer. I think we have made some mistakes. We didn't look at it in a long term. And I used to tell about the Indians. They usually look for 5 generations when they make a decision. They think about what effects will it have on the coming 5 generations. We don't, think of the effects for the next day, maybe sometimes. So I think we have to think of it in another way. And usually, if you make a little bigger investment right now, you will get back later on, the life cycle cost principles. And environment. Yeah, everything we do, we have to try to do it environmental friendly. And of course, we have to start with the schools. I'm going to tell you about some examples of what we are doing for sustainability. And of course, the schools are the most important thing. You have to start early. And we start when we are 1 year old. We're talking about these digesters, and we recycle waste and so on. And all our schools and preschools in Lidköping have a green certificate. They have a green flag waving there, and everyone is engaged in this work. And if you teach the children about sustainability, you also have to act in a sustainable way. So of course they use renewable energy sources. For example, wood chips, they will also have district heating, but it should be, and it is renewable energy. So they talk about it and they do it in a sustainable way. And all these kids, I can promise you, they are ambassadors, and they go home and they teach their parents, they teach their grandparents in a very strict way. We used to have a problem with our waste. What shall we do about it? Where can we dump it? And we had the city dumps. But nowadays we use almost all of the waste. We recycle it, we burn it in district heating systems, use the heat, or we digest it and use the biomethane. So it's not good to say, but sometimes we have a lack of waste. And I'll tell you more about that in the next example. But this shows now there is a market for waste, and it's worth something, and then you use it, of course. You just put it in the sea or in the citadel. But it took some years to come here to this point. And this is one of the places where we use the waste. We burn it in the district heating plant. And we have done that since '85. And it has been very good for us and for the air and for the citizens. We used to have a lot of pollutions in Lidköping, like the other city, and now it's cleaner, much cleaner. And we also have, due to this plant, we have reduced our emissions of carbon dioxide. Because in waste, we consider that 88% is renewable. And also in this plant we produce electricity, and most of the city, the households and the industries and so on, are connected to this system. So it has been really good, but now we have the big challenge. We used to use waste in this plant, and now we have a lack of waste. So what do we do? Yeah, we go to Norway and buy some waste, but that's maybe not the solution in the long term. So we have to use other fuels in the future, and we have to be much more efficient. It used to be a good thing to burn as much waste as possible, but it's not that good anymore. So we have to have an efficient system. It's quite another way of thinking than we're used to. And this is another example that we are very proud of. The company is not a big owner. We just own a quite small part of this, but we have been into this process for about 15 years to make this come true, this biogas, Lidköping biogas plant. And this is a cooperation between the municipality of Lidköping, the city of Gothenburg, and also a private company called SBI, Swedish Biogas International. And I think this proves that cooperation is very important, that you can have a cooperation between municipalities and private companies. So this plant will produce liquid biogas and also compressed biogas, but what's new, this is one of the few plants in the world that will produce liquid biomethane for heavy vehicles. And it hasn't started yet. They produce biogas now, but not compressed gas, but in October they will start the production of liquid biogas. It's very, very exciting. And Henrik earlier told us about, he was hoping that this plant could produce fuel for the big ships, but it's not big enough yet. You need more plants for a ship, but this one is enough to run 6,000 passenger cars that run 17,000 kilometers a year. And I hope that you will go here tomorrow at the study tours. So I told you we want to be the forerunner, and that's why we have an environmental management system in the whole organization. We are 4,500 employees in the city, in the municipality of Lidköping, and we are all a part of this environmental system. And we are all ambassadors, and that's why we have had many successes. I think that we have been successful because of this system, and that everyone in our organization is a part of this system. And one of the big opportunities we have as a municipality is through planning the society. When we're planning for new areas, the houses, and we're planning to build houses. That when the municipality owns the land, we can have demands. You have to build passive houses here. We own the land, and we can demand that. And when people ask me, well, how do they react, the companies, Well, maybe the small companies were not so glad at first that they had heard these demands, but now they are used to it because most cities in Sweden have those demands. You have to build passive or low efficient, low energy houses. So that's what we are doing right now. We are working on new guidelines for planning and building. New green, sustainable guidelines. Mark Podemsky, you once asked me, how did you come there where you are today? And I didn't know what to answer. I hadn't thought about it. How did we get here? I don't know. But then I started thinking about it, I had to ask Mark. And I thought, I think it's quite a long process. I'm sure we have worked with this for 40 years or something like that, with education in all schools in Sweden. And we have also had a lot of study courses in the evening courses and so on, a lot of education and a lot of cooperation. And we also had the legislation that Mike talked about. He also talked about the T-word that we should mention, the taxes, but I think they have been very important to us in Sweden to have this sustainable society. And we are also, when people decide something in the EU or something, when they have goals, we try to reach these goals. We are a little bit weird in Sweden, we do as they say. And we also have national goals that are very important, and we try to reach them. And we have been building on infrastructure for many years, and that has also improved and developed a lot of new techniques. And I think the municipalities has been a catalyst in this process. So a green market is not only made by businesses, it's a very complicated thing, I think. Some factors of success, I've said it so many times, but I have to say, get knowledge, so important, and those objectives and strategies, visions, you need them. And you need a strong support from the management, and you need a support from the politicians, and we have had that in Linköping, for sure. Otherwise we couldn't have done anything at all. Commitment, dialogue with everyone, and courage and strength. Sometimes you have to do things that hasn't been done before, and people will tell you, oh, it won't work, no. And you have to trust yourself, yes, it will work, and you have to try. And maybe sometimes it goes wrong, but maybe often most you're successful. You have to try. And continuity and patience, I added to that, patience, it will take time. Some results, you can't really trust these figures, but some things we can read out of this for sure, and that is that we have reduced our emissions, greenhouse emissions from households, and that's due to district heating, to use of bioenergy, and that we have been made more energy efficient. And what's next? Yes, you can see that we have a lot to do in the transport area, and we also have to do a lot in the agricultural area. And the agricultural area, there will be really big opportunities with the biomethane production, for example. So, challenges. I think a more close relation between the city and the rural areas, because in the countryside there will be the production of energy, renewable energy, and the food, and we have to connect closer to the central areas, or the cities. And we need to have a better dialogue. We have to find new ways to to have a dialogue with the young people. And a dialogue with all our inhabitants and entrepreneurs. And we also have this big challenge with the infrastructure. We have to build a sustainable society that gives opportunity for the citizens to have a sustainable lifestyle. But that's the municipality who can build a sustainable society and give the opportunities. And we have to take that responsibility. And we have to be more energy efficient, and we have to produce more renewable energy. And I've talked to you about that before. The district heating, for example, has to be much more efficient. So, when I walked my dog this morning, if you have walked your dog, you know it's very good for the thinking. You get there, have a sleep, and it comes a lot of thoughts that crosses your mind. And this morning I was thinking about how to end this presentation, and I thought 3 letters came up to me, and there were three B's, and the first B was for books. It's a symbol for knowledge, and there we are again, knowledge. We've made too many mistakes, and we shouldn't do that in the future. It's okay to make small mistakes, but not the big ones. So that's the first symbol, books for knowledge. And the second one is for, oh, I love it. Behavior. Some people are afraid of changing behavior. I think it's exciting. Oh, changing behavior. How exciting. And the third one is business. To buy and to sell new techniques. That's all these three together, the 3 B's, will make a sustainable society. So thank you very much.